Oh my God, diary. I have a mix of ups and downs and in betweens for you today. I got back from a trip to Disney World a few days ago, and it was 8 days away with my family. It was wonderful. It was hot. It was also really cold at times, and we were not prepared for how cold it would be. Neither were the Floridians. While I was gone, I received quite a few leads, like half a dozen perhaps. Fortunately, the majority of them I wasn't free for. And my VA, virtual assistant, was able to respond to them, and she had my back. Now, one of the leads booked me pretty much on the spot. We were talking on Instagram while I was gone, and it was for a Roka ceremony. So if you're not familiar with that, it's when a Sikh couple has like a formal meeting. I want to say engagement, but it's like the two families meet. It's a huge kickoff. The couple sits on a stage. The family comes up, gives them shuggan, like a little bit of money, and then they party all night. Now, they booked me without even meeting, and I reduced the rate because I wanted to get this booking, and I had the support while I was out of the country. And I did have to send the contract, but the my VA responded to everything else, and that was awesome. And I just filmed that. I got back, and then 48 hours later, I was filming the 6-hour event. And usually for Roka ceremonies, I don't make any teaser videos, but I wanted to land the couple to see if they would they would book me. I wanted to land the couple for the actual wedding because I had never met this couple. They just happened for the Roka. I want to get hired for their wedding. So I went all out, paid my editor a couple $100, and I saw the first draft, whipped up this like 30-second banger, which I'm really excited for. Now, I ran ads before I left to Florida and made a mistake. I didn't turn off a certain rule for meta ads where when I test these different content, different pieces, I say that when they hit $20 or 500 views, shut off. And then I see like, oh, what was the most performing ad? And then I build off of that. But I didn't turn off my friggin' ads. Now, it's suggested that you wait 2 weeks to really see what the best and worst performing are. And I was hoping to get a head start while I was gone, but I had to restart when I got back. Meta ads, man, it's so confusing. And honestly, I don't think my current set of ads are performing as well as my very, very first batch from months ago. When I first launched, I got, I don't know, like 7 ads in a week, but I'm really getting just like 3 or 4 at the moment. So maybe it's because I made them shorter. Maybe it's just a different season of life for people. I don't know. There's so many different variables to check. One of the main variables that like the educator that I follow was saying that Meta is putting way more money into Meta AI and finding like who is the best target for you. So whereas I would say, oh, I'm targeting people that are interested in engagement rings or lengas or wedding photography, was suggested to leave it up to Meta AI because it'll spread it, cast a wide net, and then analyze who's engaging and then target, even smaller. It makes sense in theory. Maybe I just have to wait longer. I don't know. We'll find out. Speaking of finding out, I think I have to find a new OBM. And at the time of posting this, I will have already made a decision. So OBM, if you're listening to this, love you, but had to make a decision. An OBM is an online business manager. They're like the integrators of people like me who are visionaries, shitload of ideas, but not the time or the wherewithal to break it down into smaller tasks. I've worked with them for a year and we've got some results, but for example, with Northbound, it was a huge project and undertaking. There were times where I wasn't getting any support on like the actual launch of it for the wait list and so on, despite having met with them a few times and had mentioned I need support with just breaking down these tasks because I'm doing podcasts, I'm doing these, edits, filming, yada, yada, yada. Now, a few months ago, I was experiencing serious fight or flight, where you just want something to change right away. I don't like the results, so I'm just going to run away and hire someone new and pay money into that. I experienced that a lot. And I met with my OBM and told them that I experienced this, and that I wanted to work through things and not rekindle the relationship. It's not that I wanted to make better progress because I felt like some things were slacking or falling through the cracks. And it's been like a month and I didn't see any results. And I'm sitting there thinking like maybe it's okay that I've gone through one and then another OBM. The first one had to quit because she found a full-time job. I don't think it's necessarily failing that I didn't find the right person. You know, when I hired this group, I felt so warm inside about hiring them because I'd interviewed 4 or 5 different people and this one felt right. And in the long run, it's not right for me. So I think why I'm speaking about this is because you may have made a decision that you felt was right in your gut. You've analyzed, you know, you made an informed decision, but eventually things had to change. And I think I need to maybe put a little bit more budget to an OBM that has more experience. Maybe instead of 10, it's 20 years. And that's going to require money, but I need better results. If I have better results with launching Northbound, with this education side of things that I'm trying to do and help people like you, I need someone that can really, really hold me accountable, break big projects into small tasks, and produce results. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I want to end off on a fuck up. I'm kind of kicking myself about this, but I had an associate shooter and they filmed for me and they sent all their files over Google Drive. Now, if you have ever downloaded a huge batch of files on Google Drive, then maybe you've experienced this where the 1 or 2 folders ends up in dozens and dozens of folders. No lie, 2 cameras ended up in, I think, 50 different folders. Now, my editor, who told me this later, thankfully, said that when you download from the drive, the max is 4 gigabytes. So that's why things get separated. And it was a pain in the ass. Now, I think in compiling the files from the 40 or 50 different folders into a single folder for my editor, because I wanted to make their life easy, that I didn't transfer things properly. And my editor is going through files and he's like, hey, this shooter folder is missing a bunch of stuff. Now, this was not the shooter's fault because they provided Google Drive folders, downloaded everything, prepared everything for me, confirmed for me that they can delete their footage, which they have, which means I'm screwed. So this is not on them. This is on me. It's a learning lesson. Now, I don't know what we're going to do, but I spoke to my editor and thankfully there's another shooter with other various cameras. So we're going to have to cover not cover our tracks. Like we're not hiding anything, but we do have to be much more creative. So here's the tip. If you are going to send someone footage over Google Drive or receive it from someone else, make sure that the main folder is zipped. This is what my godsend of an editor shared with me, and I've tried it and it works. If you have, let's say, 2 folders, you can zip the file, which yes, will take a long time, put that zipped file on the drive and then send that. And then when I download it, I don't get 50 friggin' folders. I get 1 single folder. And therefore, we don't get confused and accidentally delete footage or yada, yada. Now, the reason I think I deleted footage is because all of the media was labeled in a way that things could have gotten mixed up. So my associate had camera 1, camera 2, and I think when I transferred things, it said, hey, the names are the same of these files. Do you want to delete it? And I'm like, yeah, why would I want to keep both? Because when I did download and across the various folders, there were duplicates. But then I later found out that some of them weren't actually duplicates because of the naming convention that the shooter used. When I looked at it, it was kind of confusing. And I think I friggin' deleted a few clips. And now I'm screwed. So even though I am like 10 years in this professionally, 14 years in it, if you expand to like going to school and trying out my first few weddings, shit still happens. But because shit has hit the fan in the past, I know how to cover things up or remedy the situation. That's all I got. I'm going to a networking thing. I'm excited for it. I haven't been to this networking thing group in quite a while. It's going to be good and rekindling for the soul. It's nice to step away from a long 8-hour day of just working on the computer and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Nice chatting with you.